Hey, it's your boy Soggy Goose, back with another one on episode 5. And today, we're on another sped up video for you today, guys, just so that you're not bored watching me just mine away in the background. And again, I always do apologise for the sped up music as well, but hopefully I can talk over it and you can sort of just drown it out from the background. But yeah, a lot hasn't really progressed since we last left from the last episode. It was mainly just mining up the stone and getting more resources for the long arduous trip to go get in the jungle wood. Now I'm also planning on extending out, and hopefully if we can farm enough of this cobblestone, yeah, we could maybe even get the obsidian, which has been the main goal for the last couple days while I've been doing the cosmetics to the farm and the base. So yeah, I think we're gonna stick with the plan of try to create the sort of base platform as well for the actual mob spawner itself. I'm still planning on going for the same design. I'm going to have a jungle wood outer frame circle, and then I believe I'm going to make concentric smaller circles on the inside, maybe just one spruce, and I think we'll have an oak platform where the actual, or maybe jungle where the actual base of the killing chamber will sit, and then of course we'll make the very bottom of the base out of cobblestone. And yeah, and I think for the main body of the killing chamber, and actually I think just the whole spawner itself, I think I'm just going to make it out of spruce, as we have been farming up quite a lot of it recently. And now that the platform and the base is complete and all the adornments like the fences and the railings and things like that are there, yeah, it's just getting planks now. So as you can see, we spent day 58 branching out. The main goal was to obviously get to the jungle island for day 58 itself, just because obviously it takes a long time bridging out, and with the 10-minute cycles, you really don't want to be caught out on one of these 1 block wide platforms when the kill squad, the birds, come showing up. So yeah, too many times in the previous playthroughs, or at least, well, I say too many times, one time, but yeah, the phantoms are notorious for just hitting you and hitting you straight into the void. They're perfect aims. They are the Legolas of the skies every time. So as you can see, we managed to make it to the jungle island, where we did acquire some lapis, which was an extra bonus. I didn't actually think there was a chest on this island, as I could only see the tree when branching over. But yeah, and we just repeat the same process, guys. It's remove the top 2 layers till we get to the bottom layer. Spreading, I always like to just do a 1 wide block sort of circumference around the island, and then just fill in the middle as I claim the dirt. And then after that, you can use any excess. Now if you want to just go ahead and use the dirt as the base platform, I mean, that's always something you can do as well. But I find if you aren't planning on farming up the dirt afterwards, it also makes great for passive mob spawns, things like that. But I kind of want all the mobs to spawn, the only place for them to spawn is going to be in my island, and hopefully we have an outer ring which will have a giant field is what I'm aiming for, and it'll just have all the different passive mobs spawning. So as you can see, we end up making a sort of halfway platform like we have on the other side with the oak platform when we were getting the spruce, before we were spruce almighty. But yeah, and as you can see, I just made it back just for the moon rising, and the phantoms haven't been too bad this playthrough. So I mean, there might be a few instances when I've been farming at night and they've came down for one sweep. And in fact, I've actually managed to kill 2 of the phantoms so far because they've got caught in the foliage above. So I was just mainly extending the passive spawning area now that the grass has finally grew over. So yeah, that was it took long enough, but eventually spread. And now it's just giving it a little bit of a border, making everything look nice. And yeah, giving it a bit of a fence. Now currently I haven't had anything spawn yet, which is a bit annoying, because I was kind of hoping that some sheep might have spawned so we could have got an early bed. But once we get the mob spawner up and running and we're regularly getting spiders and wolves and string, then we can end up making wool. And then from then on, once we have a bed, phantoms shouldn't really be an issue anymore. And that's why we're sort of making these halfway platforms as well, so that when we do venture out further and further from the main island, that we will have eventually need places to stop over and sleep when the 10-minute cycle ends. So just getting these done early just makes a great deal of sense. And I hope you are enjoying watching as I've been enjoying building. I mean, this is honestly the longest I seem to have got so far in the series out of any playthrough. So I'm hoping that this means that this should be the series. Now, if you're wondering what the explosions are, it's actually lightning hitting my base, or going off around. It was crazy how much the lightning was and the rain has been on during this save. So yeah, we catch up on the next part of the video with day 61. After mining some more resources throughout the night, we ended up trying to bridge out to this dark oak island, because I believe it has the obsidian, and if we want to progress with any sort of iron farm, curing villagers, basically getting to the end and completing the game, if we ever hope to get to those main goals, is yeah, we need to get to the nether first. So if we get up here, oh, sheep, diamond, yes. Fortunately we only got 2, so there wasn't enough to make a diamond pickaxe yet, but that was a great bonus, was finding the diamonds. And of course obtaining the obsidian is what we set out to do in the last few episodes, so this is great. So I think we'll create the platform out for collecting up these dark oak saplings, because there's been so many attempts where I've had it and we haven't got 4 saplings. And for you that don't know, that unlike every other tree, I'm not sure if there's some other trees that do it, but definitely with the dark oak you need 4 saplings to grow them. And yeah, you need to be able to get 4 saplings off this original tree to be able to grow them in our base. So for the time being, I think because we've achieved the obsidian, we shall just return. And with it being late and I can see the moon rising in the background, yeah, it was cutting it close, especially with not having the halfway house built yet. And I was very paranoid that the phantoms were going to be an issue. So as you can see, when we obtained the obsidian, it was just a little bit of renovation was needed. Just, you know, guys, a wee bit of downtime. And I mean, the house is just basically an empty hut at the moment, so I've wanted to get a wee bit of decoration going. We we got rid of that original chest, and we're going to move it upstairs. And I believe we're going to have a few chests just to begin with. We've still not got amazing amounts of stuff, but definitely, obviously, later on in the line we will need to eventually make a storage part of the house, or I might even make that as a separate part, maybe even underneath the island. I've been thinking a lot about maybe branching it upwards or downwards rather than just out the way. So a lot of this was just moving the stuff over. I had this thing where I wanted to have a certain amount of items, different items, so that I would know where to store it when I did get a vast amount, you know. And I also wanted to cook, so now that we were starting to get chickens and things like this, I was going to need a place to cook them. And yeah, so we decided, god damn it. Yeah, so after I built a couple of sofas, I decided we would need a fireplace, because I mean, using the furnace, it just takes too much resources. I mean, if you have to use sticks or wood every time you want to cook something, I mean, it just makes more sense to have a campfire and wait a couple of minutes for it's probably about the same length of time for cooking as well. So yeah, so I decided I was going to make a little fireplace upstairs, and I wasn't quite sure where I was going to put the bed when we eventually made it, but I definitely wanted to have the bed upstairs, pretty much all the items upstairs. In fact, I was only going to keep the one barrel downstairs initially for the tools, because I like the idea of being able to run in and grab my tools, or be mining the cobblestone and just have pickaxes, loads of pickaxes in the barrel above. But I think we've just kind of set against making everything upstairs for the time being, until we get that storage facility. So yeah, just sprucing up the place. Had a couple of bookshelves, just chiseled bookshelves at the moment, as I've not made any paper yet. And again, just taking stock of inventory is always great to know. I mean, nothing worse than when you need tools and you find you don't have cobblestone, or you have no sticks left. So a big part of the run through and the gameplay is just making sure that we've got a nice tidy storage, and we've still got good amounts of everything. So yeah, as you can see, I decided we were going to have the spruce forest and the jungle forest on opposite ends, and I believe I'm going to have just a couple of oak trees dotted around the chicken hut, and maybe just half oak, half dark oak. And because I don't really want to have too many dark oaks, they're giant trees after all, and they do take up a lot of space with the 2x2 area needed to create the platform. So this is basically what you can see in the background here, is just creating the 2 or 3 platforms where the dark oak will go, a couple for the oaks, and yeah, just getting everything ready for the next step, which is a combination of making the mob platform and then making also a platform for our new obsidian portal, nether portal. And in the longest ever attempt before this series was created, the very last death that I had was due to the fact that I was so excited to get the portal lit, so it was late at night, and yeah, basically wasn't really thinking, and I built the portal above my base platform, which was sort of very similar, where it was mostly wooden slabs, and even though I wasn't standing next to the lava bit where I placed it, it fell through the cobblestone slabs and onto the wooden slabs and just instantly burnt up the area around. and it was so wide that I actually ended up falling into the void. And this was after a couple, at least good 2 hours to 3 hours of extensive grinding. And I mean just constant cobblestone wood, making the base, and I had spent quite a lot of time making things cosmetically before realising that, yeah, we probably weren't going to get very far in the playthrough. Essentially, because I had only obtained the obsidian, I hadn't really had anything else made apart from that. So as you can see, we have decided to make the staircase going up to make a higher platform for the mob spawner. And I believe we will stick with the idea of jungle on the outside, because it's always great using a new wood type when all you've had is spruce and oak for the last couple days. And I find in this texture pack, the jungle planks, look a great deal like tiles. So it kind of gives it that sort of tiled effect, even though it's wood. And then with the outer tiled area leading into the wooden base, I think it'll just look great. And I think I'm going to make a bigger platform than I've ever made for the mob spawner, just as a precaution in case we're building it and we do fall off the side. If it's not that high yet, when I fall, I might be able to survive. And yeah, plus I do want space for obviously separating zombie villagers and the witches later, and I also want to be able to build this fairly standard mob spawner, but I just want to have a 3 block high gap from the base of the killing chamber, and then from there I'm going to create a slab, about a slab wide space even, just to be able to separate and block off the mob spawners. So if I get zombie villagers or witches at the bottom, I can then block it off, carefully kill any other mobs that are in there that I don't want, and yeah, I'll be able to just easily work with the mob without having to deal with creepers falling down on my head. So yeah, a lot of this last part of the video was just getting the spruce together, getting different jungle wood as well, so that we could get this main platform on the go. So as you can see there, we go for the tiled jungle planks on the side, and I feel like with the red texture, it just kind of definitely makes it feel very much like brickwork. And without having access to bricks at the moment, it's probably the best I'm going to get. So yeah, if you're wondering, for building your own platforms, I made it 20 high, so that if mob spawn are usually around 24 blocks away from the player and won't despawn. So if I have it about 20 blocks, so if I'm just doing stuff at the bottom, it means the mobs shouldn't despawn if I'm just chopping away at wood at the bottom. And of course I went from the notoriously bad circles again, just to challenge myself. And again, I just went for the same sort of thought process of, if I keep to the same pattern and reverse it, I should have an equal spacing everywhere. And I can't for the life of me really remember what I went for. I think it was 9 at the sides and the tops, and then going into a 5 3-2-2-1 pattern and then reversing it from the sort of corner split, if that makes sense. So you get the go down, out, 1, 2, 3, go down, out 2, go down, out 2, go down, out 1, M1, out 1, M1, and then you kind of just repeat the process from the reversal, M1, down, up 2, down, up 2, down, up 3, that, then and so forth. And this is the first time I've went for this sort of design of staircase, which was 3 different colours. We went for the striped spruce, sorry, and yeah, and it's quite quirky. I like it. It definitely brings a different sort of texture and colour to the base when everything is quite brown and grey, pretty much. I mean, that's I'm not gonna lie, guys. That's pretty much all we got to work with is brown and grey. So yeah. So definitely having a wee bit of red into the base, and I know it's not quite white, but I do find when you have the stripped spruces, it gives off a nice, very creamy colour. Definitely pops for when you're using things for like door frames or just sort of decoration. It gives an extra bit of something, just something to the build. And definitely I've been trying to improve my building recently in terms of studying the pros and watching a lot of Hermitcraft and things like that, which if you probably don't know if you are just as new to this series as you are any Minecraft. Hermitcraft seems is like a server with all the best builders, and they create giant monoliths of worlds and mega structures and bases, and yeah, and that's it's a great series to watch, and I highly advise anyone who, even if you're not sure about Minecraft, definitely give the series a watch, and it will inspire you to want to play the game, I feel like. And yeah, and definitely watching the pros, they definitely talk about a lot of different colour palettes and moving from kind of darker tones to lighter tones, and not having darker tones at the top to draw anything and like away from, or you want to draw the eye up but not basically mean it's hard to explain, draw the eye up but not take it away from the rest of the build. So yeah, and then obviously not just having one base block for one wall and having similar sort of colour palettes in it just to break it up and make it look more texturized. So yeah, once we have access to different things like different types of wood or terracotta and anything else that we may come across in the future, we can revisit the house and other areas of the base. It might seem a wee bit just a wee bit monotone, and yeah, we can just replace certain blocks and see if we can make things look a little bit more realistic. So yeah, this is one mistake I made, was not really thinking about how I was going to do the inner circle, and I started doing it one way where I thought I would fill out the whole base with just jungle planks, and then I was just going to remove the planks that I needed for the circle and do it like that. But then I thought that's going to take a lot more place in the blocks that I don't actually need, and I might lose a good percentage of them just to the void. So I decided we'll get the spruce together and we'll just kind of measure out and do what we did with the first circle, but just a little bit smaller, a little bit reduced numbers. So instead of 5, 3, 2, 2, it would be 3, 1, 3, 2, 1, 1 sort of scenario. I can't really remember what we end up with at the end, but it's yeah, I'm excited to see it. So basically I made it up to the point where we had an equal line, and then I was going to measure out the blocks from either side and then remember the pattern as I did one corner of the build. So of course, with not having a bed at the moment, you don't really want to cower in your base the whole night, so I do advise, if you don't have a forest close together with a lot of tree cover, at least having some sort of temporary bit that you can hide at in between your forest area and your main base, just so that you can hide from phantoms. And we skip ahead after farming all night, and we are making the base of the kill chamber. Now I build it 18 blocks high, and then with the base platform and the water killing, the water sort of area of the platform, it will mean that it should work out around about 24 blocks, I think. And with that, it will give us the height we need to basically injure any mob that falls down and kill, just basically one tap everything that falls down this chamber in this killing area. God damn it. As you can see from the background footage, we ended up making it not wide enough. So instead of being 3 wide, I'd only made it 2 wide, and it just didn't work out at the top. So you basically need to have it so that you have 2 blocks evenly on each side, and have a central block, so 5 in a line, so that you can come off the central block at the top, and that'll give you your cross shape for where you're going to create the water delivery area. And the way, if you don't know as well, is if you place water on a block that's flowing out over slabs or any sort of area, it will flow out to about 8 blocks length. And with that 8 blocks length, it means that I can have them push into the chamber, but not have the water fall down. And not that I think that ruin access to or even the efficiency of the farm, as I've never seen anyone do it, and of course I don't know what the results would be, because I'm too scared to break the farm myself. But it would basically just mean that the water would flow down into the killing chamber, and actually I don't think it would mean that there would be one shot. God damn it. And as you can see, a bloody phantom attacked me. So we had to spend a little bit of time healing up in the house and collecting more of the wood planks. And I think we're going to go for spruce trapdoors as well, because I really do think the blue works well with the dark brown. And even though no one's going to see the water killing chamber, just knowing that it looks as good as it looks just made me feel a wee bit good about myself. And it's by far the most wood supply we have at the moment is our spruce. God damn it, die! So yeah, after killing that phantom, we basically are just waiting around till the morning, and as soon as the dawn starts and I know that phantoms won't be a problem anymore, it's straight back to the building. Because we're going to build like our life depends on it this day, and try to finish off the farm. So yeah, definitely torches are a must as well when you're building these sort of things, because most of the time, unless you're a crazy builder and you've already thought of how many planks exactly you're going to need, trapdoors and such, you will need to go up and down it a couple of times. So if that is the case, you basically want to be able to light up the area at the top, so that no mobs will spawn overnight, and come the morning they'll still be there, because they could be blocked by the shadow. So as you can see there, we've built a little bit of a gap there so we can block the farm off, and now it's just rebuilding this wall, so this is all fine. And as you can see, we now have an equal spacing on either side. Building out 8, and on the 8th block building 2 up, and this will be about 3 wide, the chamber, and that will give us our side as well. So you can place the 5 branches out of slabs. I find it makes it just easier for cording it off. And of course you don't want to make it 1 wide, as nothing will, I mean it would flow down, but again I don't know if that would cause problems, maybe getting a lot of mobs spawning and getting stuck at the top of the chamber. So yeah. So yep, once you've built up all the sides and you create this sort of plus shape, this is basically where the water will flow and push all of our mobs down to this killing chamber. And I missed a bit of footage, but we ended up finishing the platform off quite nicely with the spruce line, and we just ended up going for a simple jungle plank platform in the middle. And we finish off the video on a nice slow pace, just so we can talk over basically really what I'm doing here. So this is basically the mob spawning platforms above the water chamber. So the plus is where the water will actually flow, and this is where the mobs will spawn. Now originally I was going to make it a double height, a double tier sort of mob spawner, but for the time being I don't really need too many mob drops, and I might come back to it in the future and make it 2 tiers, because it would only take ripping off the roof, making sure that I light up the place of course and nothing spawns while I'm up there fixing it. But I mean, it would just be the case of making a lot of ladders and having a way of getting back up to the spawner once I've finished it. So basically just filling in all the gaps on the outsides after you've created your plus shape, and then making a 2 high wall all the way around, encompassing it. And the reason we're making it only 2 high is of course, if you make it 3 blocks, you can it would allow for endermen to spawn in the farm, and as much as some people might want ender pearls, and if you do, I would highly recommend you can make it 3 high if you like, but for the time being I don't really want ender pearls, and I find if you do have them spawning in, they don't tend to stay in the spawner, and in fact you'll end up with endermen just floating randomly about your island at times when they teleport. So it's added risk. And yeah, that's pretty much all we have time for this episode. Hope you guys are still enjoying it as much as I'm still enjoying playing it. And yeah, I will catch you guys on the next one. So yeah, see ya.